Hey everybody, today we have integer exponents. So when we have integer exponents, when an exponent is a negative number, we can think of it as taking the reciprocal. So in other words, x minus n, so x is your base and negative n is your exponent, can be in other words thought of as 1 over x to n. And notice that by flipping it, we've now put this on the bottom and the exponent has become positive. So here's another way you can visualize what happens when an exponent is negative. So when you have the base and a negative exponent, it's going to equal the base and then a positive exponent over 1. Basically exactly what I'm saying up here. You have a negative exponent, it will become a positive exponent and the base will stay the same. And you put a 1 on the top. All right, we don't want to leave negative exponents in our solutions, so use this example to help you write all solutions with a positive exponent. So we're going to rewrite the following using a positive exponent. So here we had 4 raised to negative 2. So I took my 4 and negative 2, kept the base, and changed the exponent to a positive and wrote a 1 over in the top. All right, for number 2, we had h raised to the negative 6. So I've kept the base the same, and I've changed my exponent to a positive 6 over 1. All right, the highlighted pink ones here are the ones that you are going to do. I'm just trying to reduce the amount of work that you can do on Kami. All right, so you don't have to write everything that I'm doing right here on Kami. So you only have to find the answers for 3 and 4. So just on Kami, just do numbers 3 and 4 and submit that work to me. For numbers 5 through 8, we're going to evaluate the following and give your answer as a fraction without any exponents. Well, I simplified your first one here, number 5. We had 5 raised to the negative 1, which is now the base stays the same at 5, and negative 1 became 1 over 1. Now, if they wanted us to write it without any exponents, it would be the same, because remember, exponents are how many times the number is being multiplied, so this isn't being multiplied at all, right? Now, for example, in number 6, we have 10 raised to the negative 4th, so I rewrote that here. The base stayed the same, the negative 4 became a positive and written as the exponent over 1, but when they say rewrite it without exponents, this means you just had to solve this exponent, right? You had to solve this expression right here, 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, which would give me 10,000. So for example, if you were going to do this, you could do 10 raised to the 4th if you had a regular calculator. But if you have a calculator that looks like mine, you would need to multiply it 4 times in a row. And that's going to give you your answer of 10,000. So for number 7, you are going to need to do that problem as well. Okay, and number 8 as well. So using the laws of exponents, simplify the following problems and leave your solution as the value raised to a power. And be sure to use a positive exponent. So one thing that you might need to go over is your integer rules. So I'll try and get those to you right now real quick. Your integer rules, when you have a positive times a negative, it equals a negative. All right, so for example, right, I had 3, which is a positive, multiplied by negative 2 is going to give me a negative exponent. All right, and once you get that, you know that you can't leave a negative exponent in your answer, that you're going to need to use the reciprocal and make sure your base is the same and that your negative exponent will become positive at that point, and you write that over under 1. Okay? For this one, we had, this is going to be subtraction, right? If you remember from the previous lessons, when you have division with exponents here, you can simplify it further by subtracting the exponents. Well, what I like to do is I like to take the sign in front of the number so that I know what my answer is going to be, positive or negative. So the larger number here is 4, and it is negative. So if I take 4 minus 3, right, I'm going to get 1. But I need to make sure that is a negative 1 because the larger number in that one is a negative. So if I did 4 minus 1, I would get 1, but it's actually negative 1 because the larger number is negative. So that would be my exponent, and this would be my base. And of course, you have to not leave a negative exponent in your answer, okay? You need to rewrite it as something like you did from number 1 to number 4. All right, so some of these I did modify for you, and you see writing here, but basically what I'm asking you to do is just like the top 1 through 4, you need to take this and find its reciprocal. Same thing for number 12 and number 13. However, number 14 was a little bit difficult, and it's kind of like the hardest problem of the day, but here's what I did. It says show the work for this answer, and you must show your work to get credit. So this is the answer to this problem, but you have to show your work on how to get to this answer. So if you know that this is the answer, try to do some work here in order to find out how this is the answer. All right, so it says label the following equations as true or false and be sure to show your thinking. So if it is the same on both sides, when we are simplifying or solving each side of the equation, it's going to be true. Or if it is different, so if this side is different than this side, it's going to be false. So remember that you are adding your exponents here, right? So you're going to have negative 7 plus 2. So your base will stay the same, okay? And then whatever negative 7 plus 2 is will become your new exponent. And then you're going to have 7 plus negative 2, okay, which is going to give you a different answer. All right, so try to make sure you do those. And remember, we are subtracting here. So we have negative 8, take away 3. And then we have negative 17, take away 6. I crossed out 17 and 18 for you. And the summary of today's lesson, you might take something from the top, all right, one of these rules, and just rewrite one of these 4 bullets in your own words. All right. All right, that is it for today. Everybody, have a great day and stay safe.